The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
I got a new word for you. I'm pretty excited about this because I've never heard this word before, and we can all learn about it together as a family. The word is sporn-sexual. S-P-O-R-N, sexual. Sporn-sexual. And here's what I'm told the definition of sporn-sexual is. It's a term originating in the mid-2010 skis. It's used to describe a straight man who is, quote, fragranced, buffed, ripped, groomed, and selfie-adoring.
I'm out.
This is why none of us have heard of it.
Well, I do like to be fragranced. Axe body spray. That's my go-to.
Yeah, you do cover yourself in that like you would, like that protectant you put on a couch, the stain protectant. Get every nook and cranny. Scotch Guard, that's what it is, Scotch Guard.
It smells like a high school locker room.
Get ready, folks, that are going to join us Friday on the boat ride.
Oh, there'll be a little extra.
We have to.
I will throw a little extra pump on there for the crowd on the Rock the River party boat. I got a write-up here on a sporn-sexual who is also a polygamist and lives with his 8 wives. His name is Arthur. Oh, Arthur. Once in your life, you find her. Right, Cubby?
Mm-hmm. I loved Arthur.
Your heart around, and next thing you know, you're closing down the town.
He liked to drink. I'm just going to throw that out there, and I hope nobody minds.
Who likes to drink?
Arthur.
Oh, my damn. This guy's name is Arthur. He lives in Brazil. He is a sporn-sexual. And as I already said, he's ass-deep in wives. He's got 8 of them. Someone over there asked him what life is like with that kind of setup. You tell me what you think. Well, first off, I would think this would be some kind of dominant master versus sex slaves type of a thing. That's what.
Hot.
Of course it does.
Really?
That's what I picture when I. Don't you guys, when you think about a guy with 8 wives?
Absolutely.
He's
some sort of cult.
Yeah, he runs the show.
Some overbearing master slave type setup.
You said sounds hot, Ashley. Like, which side would you want to be on?
Both.
Both. Okay.
More of a submissive, though, situation.
I don't see you as being submissive in any situation.
Yeah, that's actually like the only time it ever actually happens is during those kind of things.
During sex. During romance.
Yes.
That's when you like to be submissive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, Josh, you
Just
like.
a complete simp.
I don't even know what that means, but
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
I think I've heard it used before.
I know.
Is that a bad word?
Yeah, I've heard it.
No, not at all. It's a way of like, gosh, I don't know. Dana, do you know how to describe it?
Well, Dana's a simple tin. I've heard that before.
Now, are you sure you didn't mean to say sub?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Simp.
I've certainly heard the word as well. I just don't know what it means, and now I'm a little nervous.
I've got a simp
It
hand.
says somebody who is overly submissive.
Josh, you have a strong simp hand?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
That's sweet. I like that.
Nick, simping ain't easy.
You know what? It's really not, Josh. It's a struggle out there.
I know, Josh, you tune this stuff out a lot when Ashley talks about sex because you picture yourself as a father figure.
Did you see the face I was making when we were talking about this? Yeah,
I can't see through my glasses.
Oh,
but
you
were
can.
you cringing?
Yes.
Yeah. But, I mean, you got to remember, she has a paddle
Hanging on the wall.
in her bedroom that she likes to be used upon her. So,
Hey, real
just
quick.
brace yourself, Josh. Brace yourself if she continues on this topic.
Ashley, you were nice enough to invite us all over to see your new place.
Yep.
If I can make one request,
I can do that for you, Josh.
You can?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Put
You're
the
welcome.
paddle away.
Just put a clock up there or
Yeah,
something. I don't even
yeah.
I don't want to know where it was hanging.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm going to come out in the backyard just swinging it over my head. Woo, look at this! Look at what I found!
So back to dude here. Like I was saying, when I hear about a guy with 8 wives, I think it's going to be some domineering type of a situation. But that's not the case. He says his wives are very strict.
Oh, that's fun.
He has to stay in shape and keep his abs ripped. Otherwise, the wives bust his balls about it.
Has anyone been in a relationship like that here?
Oh, gosh, no. That would not work out for them.
No.
Thankfully, I haven't either.
Where your significant other was very critical of your appearance?
The closest would be the opposite way, where I dated a girl, I was so thin at this time that it made her uncomfortable that I was thinner than her.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, I'd imagine you were always so thin growing up. I mean, is that something you ran into as well?
I've heard it. I've had past girlfriends make jokes about that. I don't think they were ever serious about it.
Yeah, there was one, I don't know if I should say the name, but there was one in particular, and she didn't have a weight issue at all.
Okay. You're writing her name down for me?
Yeah.
Because you're sure I'll remember her?
Who this is, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
This is a nickname, at least. Can you see that?
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Could you also, now that you know who it is, could you see that person being that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So someone, yeah. But none of us have been in a situation where we had a significant other who was overly critical about our weight or anything like that. That's silly.
Gross.
No.
I do know a lady who said to her husband, and she was serious. How did she say it? I want to say it I want to recreate it as perfectly as I can. Oh, okay. She basically said to her husband, look, we're not having sex again until you lose 10 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible. I can't imagine ever saying that to another person.
Especially somebody that you supposedly care about.
That was
Maybe that's your answer.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
that'd be a loose idea with this couple, Ashley, to
Okay.
actually care about each other.
I would never say that to someone. I'd need an intermediary,
That's rough.
somebody to go in between and say that.
Right.
Dana, will you tell my lover that she needs to lose 10 pounds?
It's like, hey, do you want to go to the gym together?
I can't imagine surviving that conversation.
No.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would say something like that to me. It would not end well.
After she finished eating all the meat off the bone and wiped barbecue sauce off her face, she'd stab me with that rib.
She sharpens it with her teeth.
You're a dead man.
So it sounds like this guy's 8 wives, this sporn sexual, and I don't understand the name. Anyone understand how does?
No.
Yeah.
Usually the title reflects something. I still don't get. What does it mean? Why is the word sporn sexual? Is sporn something? I don't know. I'll let it go. This dude's wives kind of run the show. They demand he stay in shape. They keep an eye on what he eats. He doesn't get to eat gluten, dairy, breads, or pasta.
What's the point of anything?
What else is there to eat?
That reminds me of the top dog of the state patrol. One of the biggest names in Minnesota law enforcement, Matt Langer. Lovely guy, awesome sense of humor, and a super funny dude. I love Matt Langer. He was our trooper for a very long time, and his wife doesn't let him drink chocolate milk.
Dude.
He's one of the most powerful people in the state of Minnesota. But yeah, he can't drink chocolate milk. Get that out of there. You can't drink
All
it.
the whiskey you want, but you have one sip of chocolate milk, you're in deep trouble.
Remember him telling us that, Nick?
Yes, that was
Oh, that sucks.
shocking.
That's adorable.
Love chocolate milk.
It also was pretty cute.
It was cute.
Sex can be tricky, he says, this guy with the 8 wives. He's had to create a schedule to keep track. He's had to create a schedule to keep track of which wife he's banging and when.
Wouldn't that be a problem a lot of people would love to have?
Come on.
Which I can understand that. You'd have to keep a schedule, absolutely. Okay, wait a minute. Last night. Who was I with last night? Okay, so I'll schedule her down here later on at the week.
I could pencil in at 2:30 on Wednesday.
The poor sumbitch says sex has become something of a chore and not something he does for pleasure. Well, now he knows how all my ex-girlfriends have felt. Sometimes Arthur says he has sex with one wife while thinking about another.
Oh, no.
Tell you what, brother, you don't have to have 8 wives or even one wife to have sex with one person while thinking about it. Hell, I had sex with Jennifer Aniston a couple nights ago. At least that's how I was imagining it.
I went with Brad Pitt, her
Did
ex.
you?
Yeah.
There you go. He started off with just one wife, who was a swinger like him. But then polygamy was banned in Brazil, and in protest of that, he married 8 more women, bringing his total to 9. Earlier this year, one of his wives got burned out on this wacky scene, and she took a walk, bringing the total number of wives back down to 8. That's Arthur for you.
You know, I know what he's saying about sex can become a chore. It's something I never, ever thought I would say. But then for anybody who's gone through fertility issues, you know, you might feel the same way. Or maybe not even fertility issues, but just trying to conceive. You know, it's amazing how difficult it is. And, you know, you think about somebody on their first time under the bleachers at a homecoming game, they get pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're trying, sometimes it's very, very difficult. So there was a time, you know, because everybody would say the same thing. Well, I bet practicing's fun or that kind of thing. And at first, sure. But after a while, it's like, you know, it's like, okay, we got to go right now at this time. Here we are. You're charting it and taking temperatures. It kind of ruins everything.
I hear you, dude.
That's where the idea of Brad Pitt comes in. Or any of the most famous Chris's.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
In England, their teenage kids are suckers for TikTok trends, just like the young people here in the States. Police have issued a warning to grocery stores over a concerning new viral trend involving baked beans. Why does this sound so familiar? Did we cover this?
No?
Okay. It's just the liquor talking. Grocery stores have been urged to look out for children buying large quantities of baked beans, and parents are being encouraged to check their cupboards. So this new TikTok trend is beaning.
You know, compared to a lot of these other social media trends, this one seems pretty harmless to me.
I suppose in the grand scheme of things, when you consider, tell me if I am correct in stating some of these TikTok trends, eating laundry detergent, right? Wasn't that a TikTok thing?
Well, I don't know that that was TikTok, but that's social media, certainly.
Yeah.
The Tide Pod Challenge.
Yep.
So what are some specific TikTok things then that I'm missing?
Well, there's one I'm going to talk about in the news called the Devious Lick Challenge.
Oh, no.
Are you guys familiar with this one?
No, and I don't know if I want to.
You might have to go
know
to the bathroom during that.
It involves the bathroom.
Oh, does
In some cases, yes.
Come on.
So that's not where folks are going to the grocery store and licking products?
No, it's kind of just a stupid internet term for something else.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, we've talked about, I forget the names of some of these, but the one where you get out of the car and do a little dance.
Oh.
That killed 100,000 people, believe it or not. What are some of the other ones we've talked about? There's... Go on, I'm sorry.
Milk crate.
Milk crate, yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that was
milk
dangerous.
crate. Oh, that was fun to watch, though.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a blast to watch.
There's another one where kids are taking those magnetic beads and making it look like they have a tongue piercing.
Oh.
And a few people have swallowed them, leading to injuries. So this one seems like the type of prank we'd pull when we were kids.
Yeah.
Harmless,
Yeah, just beans instead of eggs.
Yeah, you're not egging.
Beaning has become very popular on TikTok. Now, this involves children smearing baked beans on people's driveways, on their doors, on their cars, and then, of course, filming it. Numerous videos have been posted on social media with the hashtag Bean Bandits with a Z.
I love baked beans. And I love that there's so many varieties and flavors.
Yeah.
Why with a Z, Cubby?
Because they nasty.
A cop by the name of Michelle Owens over there in England said it has come to the attention of the police that a new trend has started by groups of youths called beaning. If you work in a grocery store, please be aware of young people buying large quantities. If you have children living at home, please be mindful if you see them removing cans of beans from your home. In one picture posted on social media by the cops, 4 empty cans of beans can be seen discarded near a doorstep, which is littered with the little orange beans. Another shows a car with bean sauce dripping down the driver's window, leaving an unsightly orange smudge. This grosses me out because I'm like most everybody else. I love baked beans, but they have to be piping hot. Cold baked beans, just the sight of cold baked beans makes me effing sick.
Yeah, I like them really hot. But I'll take them however they are.
Really?
Yeah.
The thought of cold baked beans dripping down the side of a car is repulsive. I might vomit.
Yeah. Grosses me out.
Yeah, probably because it looks like puke, I'm guessing, obviously.
Oh, ew. Yeah.
I thought, I was going to say maybe something from the other end.
Yeah. Well, it could come either way.
I thought of another challenge. Remember the knockout challenge?
No.
That's terrible. Where kids would go up and knock out somebody. Just give them
that was messed up.
punch them in the face for no reason.
That sounds like a good way to go from 9th grade to juvenile hall in a heartbeat.
Does.
Yeah.
That 70-year-old man we were talking about yesterday gave you the knockout challenge once, Josh.
Oh.
Yeah, I never saw it coming. I wasn't a part of it.
He was the original.
Yeah, he was the godfather of it.
He was the OG.
He started it. See? Respect your elders. They start some pretty cool stuff.
And we like to give kids, crap these days for being lazy and stuff. Like this beaning thing, they probably got to be driving around with can openers or something, unless it's a pop top.
Oh,
I'm not
good
sure what they
point.
got. That takes some initiative.
Yeah, it's almost like a phobia, really, I think, my thing with beans. I like
It's really that bad?
Oh yeah, I like any kind of leftovers, but if I have baked beans and a couple of wieners for dinner or something, I almost never save the remaining baked beans because I don't want to go near them once they've cooled down.
You can't even chuck them in the microwave and go for round 2?
You mean like the next day?
Yeah.
No, because I don't want to deal with the pot of cold beans. Once dinner is over, there's that half-filled pot of cold beans.
Ugh, yeah.
I
guess I know
don't
what
want to
you
go
mean.
near them, so I'll just dump them into the garbage. All the while going, oh God, did I get a little on my finger?
That's so cute.
I wonder how that started.
I don't know.
So then there's got to be similar foods then, wouldn't there be? Is it just that type of texture? Would other foods be the same way?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. or
Gravy.
anything. Oh, yeah, gravy.
It's about the texture. Good call. You guys are almost like my psychiatrists here, or whatever you call it. Gravy would be another one.
Okay, that makes sense. I was starting to wonder if maybe if you got beaned as a kid and had kind of like repressed it.
No, I was never beaned. But yeah, I think I'd rather have you come at me with a shiv than a pot of cold baked beans. You know what I'm saying?
So you couldn't even can you just pick out the little pieces of pork and save those?
No.
Nothing.
No. I just want. I once I've had them piping hot, I want nothing to do with the rest of them.
You know, now that you brought, I said gravy, I can't do with like the little film on the top.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
There, or even on mac and cheese sometimes.
That's
like
all I eat is the film. I just ask for gravy. I say, just bring the gravy film.
He puts it between a couple of slices of bread. The day after Thanksgiving, when the rest of us suckers are eating cold turkey sandwich, Cubby's having a gravy film sandwich.
Hey, ain't you that gravy film guy? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head any other foods that give me the willies like that once they've gone cold, but certainly gravy's one of them. I want nothing to do with the remaining gravy. I don't even want it to look at me.
Man, I love it. I'm glad I don't have that phobia or however you want to describe it, because I love leftovers.
Yeah. Well, I like most of them.
I mean, beans too. Like if you're at a barbecue.
A picnic.
Sorry, I was just picturing all of us having a picnic. I'm wearing a bonnet. At a barbecue, and the beans have been sitting there for a while. I'll still go for them.
I've got another one. You know, when maybe you order a sandwich from a sandwich shop, and you know that I despise almost all condiments. Take your mayo, take your ketchup, throw them in the garbage. Most of that stuff repulses me. But, in certain situations, let's say you're at a party with a big old sandwich. They get like the football field long sandwich, and then the party's over, and wrap up a sandwich and take it home.
Oh, no.
I'd rather vomit and then swallow the vomit than eat a leftover cold sandwich with mayo and things like that on it.
Getting soggy
You're
bread.
crazy.
Soggy bread.
I'll eat anything.
Day old mayo on a cold sandwich. Shove that put it in the trash.
Yeah, I'll eat that.
I'll eat the heck out of it.
Right now.
Wrap
That sounds
up
amazing.
a sandwich, they say, and I say, get away from me with that wrapped up sandwich.
Yeah. Outside of the physical abuse, I bet it would be awesome to be your pet. Just with all the leftovers.
Yeah.
The original Toolmaker Jesus says, so beans are like women to Nick. Once he's had them, he just tosses them and moves on.
I was going to make that comparison, but I didn't want to say it.
Well, the original Toolmaker Jesus is not afraid to go there.
Not afraid to go there.
A lot of flicking the bean jokes coming in via the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, by the way.
That's great.
Flicking the bean, yeah.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Nice to have him back in the mix. He's a big shot lawyer and a big guy.
Big, strong
He's
guy.
a big,
strong guy.
He'll try and help you out if you have a legal issue going on. Call 651-989-9393, or you can text us 68683. Start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana if you have a question for Ryan Pasiga. Hello, Ryan.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, nice to hear from you again.
Good to be back on.
It has been a while. Everything's good?
Everything's good. Things are a little crazy out in our world right now, but everything's good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know we were trying to get you on, and you've been in the middle of a case, and so obviously you got a day or two off here, or what's your schedule look like?
Yeah, today I have no court, which is nice. I've got a ton of trials lined up. It's sort of like, so all of us lawyers, both prosecutors and defense lawyers, are going through the same thing. So you ever been at the airport where all of a sudden you find out your plane's got to de-ice before you take off?
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's like this long line of planes, right? And you're all kind of wondering then when you're going to take off. So you got this long line of trials going on, every lawyer. The problem is that the judges are basically expecting all of these trials to be ready at the same time, and then they're just going to tell us which one goes a little bit, which is, their way of having to deal with getting these through the system too. But it's tough because we've never had to have so many cases ready for trial at the same time.
Are they just backed up? Is this COVID related?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of hard that way. We're paying the price from the time off of court when it was all locked down, so to speak. But it is what it is. We'll just get through it one by one.
Hey, so you've been working your ass off. We were curious if you've been following this Johnny Depp defamation trial going on with his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some really hilarious stuff.
Told me you might ask me about that, so I did a quick 3-minute read of the summary of what's happening, so I can answer some questions. But I haven't watched 1 second of it. I've never really been a starstruck kind of person.
Oh, I understand
We
completely.
haven't either, but he's been pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what we were going to ask you about, just because Johnny Depp is just hilarious. When they ask him questions, he doesn't seem to really care at all. He is just very flippant about the whole thing, if
really
that's the word. Sarcastic about everything. I think there was a question once where someone asked him, is it true that you wake up and drink whiskey at 8 a.m.? And his answer was, well, isn't any hour happy hour? You know, I didn't know if you had picked up on that. Don't worry about it. We were just curious if you've been following it, but it has been pretty funny.
No, I haven't, but I can give you some general comments about something like that.
Well, sure.
And that is that, you know, juries are really evaluating. I'm assuming this is a jury trial, right? I know it's a defamation lawsuit and it's a civil case, not a criminal case. You know, but juries are judging. Anytime someone testifies, they're judging them from what they're wearing, how they conduct themselves on courtroom breaks in the hallway or in the bathroom or out in front of the courthouse on the sidewalk, to how they interact with their legal team or don't interact with them, to how they look at the jury or how they don't, and how seriously they take the process or not. And generally speaking, juries expect someone that's testifying or a party to a case to have an amount of deference for the formality of the court process. Not that some humor isn't welcome from time to time, especially if a trial's long.
Right.
Lawyers will, interject a little bit of that as well. Sometimes the judge will. Sometimes it's well-timed from a witness. But if you're overdoing that sort of stuff, or you're looking, like you don't think this is a big deal or everything, jurors will tend to want to penalize someone for that. So, Again, I haven't seen 1 second of this trial, but if, based on what you're telling me, I'd be a little concerned that a jury just might say, well, if you're not taking it seriously, why in the world should we take your claim seriously?
I understand that, and I certainly understand that the jurors want him to show some respect for the process and respect for them as jurors. But also, when you were explaining all that, it kind of struck me as slightly unfair that someone might be judged on their clothes or how they interact with people during a break or how they interact with their lawyers. I mean, do you know what I mean? That sounds a little unfair to me.
It does. And you're right. You wouldn't want it to happen that way, but life isn't fair, and we all know that. Jurors are human beings too, and they're told to put some of these things aside and all that. And I think they work hard to do it. But underneath all of that, which one of us doesn't judge someone based on how they appear?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if we really want to get real about it, right? And I'm not talking about the color of someone's skin or anything. I'm just talking about if somebody's kind of dressed sloppily and everything. We might think, get your act together,
I see what you mean.
Life. I mean,
I see what you mean.
We all have that to a degree underneath us.
I guess I can understand jurors who might, I just recently got called for jury duty. Can you get me out of that, by the way?
You've got an insanity defense automatically.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, but I guess if I ever ended up on a real jury for a serious case, I guess I might be a little bothered if some of the characters involved weren't taking it seriously, because here I am missing work, missing out on pay, things like that. Okay, I can see a little bit of that, but
I'm curious as to your thoughts about my favorite part of the trial so far, and that was Amber Heard's attorney objecting to his own question.
That was so great.
And
really?
seemed flustered. I'll play a clip.
Sounds like a little bit of a sideshow then. I mean, I don't know. Again, lawyers can tend to perform when cameras are involved. That's always one of the concerns for not having cameras in the courtroom, is it gets to be a little too much showmanship, and even judges can sometimes get caught up in that. On the other hand, again, that might be just one of those. I'd have to see it and put some context to it. But
I'll play a clip.
Sometimes a lawyer can do that. We can correct ourselves and laugh at ourselves, which makes us more human to the jury. Because one thing juries don't like is cocky lawyers, thinking that they're the smartest person in the room.
I could see that being
person in the room.
Yeah.
That's really off-putting to juries. And so, it's important to have some humility, or to be able to admit when we're wrong, or to even, I've apologized in a trial before where I got a little too competitive one time, and I just had to say, I kind of went for the throat there, and I got to apologize for that. I didn't.
That's cool that you did that. I wouldn't expect an attorney to ever do something like that.
Sorry, I blew up. What were you saying, Josh? Now,
all right. So hopefully you can hear this. This is a clip of Amber Heard's attorney objecting to his own question.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper had told me he'd sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay. You said he sustained an injury to his finger.
The judge is going,
so that's actually... So, no, what's happening there is that jury is not, or that lawyer is not objecting to his own question. He's objecting to the answer that the witness gave. So I could ask you, Josh, well, what did you see on that day? And you could see I saw someone run a red light. And then the person admitted that they were texting on their phone, and I would object and say, whoa, hearsay. You're not answering my question. I asked you what you saw, and now you're talking about what someone else said, which is hearsay,
right.
And I'm trying to strike that part of your answer.
Okay, that never dawned on me.
Dang it.
Well, the judge certainly thought that the guy was objecting to his own question.
Yeah.
The judge got a little confused.
You asked.
Yeah, well, it might have been a bad question, or the judge might not have seen it.
It has been a gong show. Either. Some of the audios Josh has played for us has been very entertaining. So maybe check it out if you have now that you have a day or two off. But
like you, normally I wouldn't be interested in this at all. But some of the stuff that's come out of it's been pretty fun.
Well, for God's sake, Ryan Pasigo, somebody pooped in the bed. One of them has accused.
What's weird about that?
Have you had? We were just laughing about how in a court of law they have to describe the poop and who they think it could be.
Oh man!
Has there been anything bizarre like that in one of your cases that you'd be able to share? Like something dumb you can't believe you're arguing about?
I got to take you back to the first relatively serious case I ever got. Right, because when you're a young lawyer in defense work, you're getting, DWIs and disorderly conduct, sort of, your smaller misdemeanor kind of cases, right?
Right.
So one of the first serious cases I get, there was this couple that went on a meth binge, and they rented a really cheap motel out in Woodbury that every officer would still know exactly which one I'm talking about if they're from Woodbury. But at any rate, this couple rents this hotel for a weekend, and they decide that they're going to put an ad up on like Craigslist or whatever, asking if a female would like to join them for a threesome. Okay?
Nice.
So this gal sees this ad. Now, she's got like a 2-3-month-old baby, and her boyfriend. She tells her boyfriend. She doesn't tell him about the ad. She just says, hey, can you watch the baby for like an hour or two? Boyfriend says, sure. So she takes off. She goes to meet this couple at this hotel in Woodbury. Everyone starts doing meth. So we get to a point, 3 days later, she comes home.
Oh.
Not 2 hours. 3 days later. Damn. That was a long 2 hours for that boyfriend.
God. No kidding.
Well, immediately she cries. She cries that she had been kidnapped.
Oh.
And kidnapped and all that, right?
Held against her will and all that.
Right. So police show up to the hotel. They arrest the couple, and they inventory the hotel room. Okay?
Oh, no.
Long story short, I have to go get down to the jail. I meet with this guy. He tells me his side of the story, and he's quite candid in what had happened.
Oh.
And apparently his wife had been telling another lawyer the same story. So we're like, this isn't adding up. Well, it turns out what had happened was this gal that said she was kidnapped didn't want to admit to her boyfriend that she had went into this motel to smoke meth with these people and get involved in a threesome. And they just all kept going because they were on meth for several days. The inventoried property in the hotel room and these were instruments that were used during their sexual escapades, all right, in her. One was a curling iron, one was a bottle of vodka, and one was the hotel remote control. So in the police notes, no kidding, the police notes said the hotel remote control had fecal matter on it. Okay, so you can guess what they were doing with that.
Right.
And to this day, I have never picked up a hotel remote control without visually inspecting it, every inch of it, up and down and backside. From that point on. True.
God help us. That's a great
Charges were
story.
dismissed against these two, and she was kind of caught in her lie. She was just way too embarrassed to admit that she went off the grid for 3 days and did that. But
Did you or someone have to prove that it was her fecal matter on the? I mean, was that part of the?
It didn't even get that far.
Okay.
Good. Boy, by day 3, I bet she could change the channel.
Hey, turn the volume up a little bit. She just kind of clenches her stomach muscles a little bit. What do you want, an MTV?
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
We probably all had a pet that went ahead and destroyed something in the house when we weren't looking, right?
Bruh. Yeah.
Okay, what was the all-timer?
Well, this was all the same dog. It was a Great Dane puppy. When we first got her, she ate the back of the only expensive piece of furniture I've ever purchased, and the last piece of expensive furniture. She ate the back of a couch, brand new couch.
Back of a couch.
She ate...
How much did the couch go for? If you don't mind sharing such a thing.
It was like a little under $1,000.
Oh, my damn.
2 recliners in it.
And you just had to throw it away and get a new one?
No, I kept it. I just put it up against a wall.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was really bad.
She ate the back of the couch, okay.
Yep. She ate drywall off the wall. She ate a railing. When we got married, not me and the dog, me and my wife, when we got married, she ate some traveler's checks that my mother-in-law gave me, which I thought was hilarious. I'm not a traveler. But she ate like $150 in traveler's checks.
Here you go, dude that never leaves the house. Here's some traveler's.
Yeah. I don't know what she's trying to say. Trying to think.
That's a hell of a list.
Yeah, we had a bunch of, for getting ready for Christmas dinner. Like it was Christmas Eve, and we had put a bunch of stuff out on a dining room table, things that you could just leave out getting ready. And she had broke down the little dog gate we had, and she ate everything off the table. So we ended up at the vet to get her stomach pumped.
Yeah.
Stomach had to be pumped.
Yeah, because there was like chocolate and stuff like that on the table.
I mean.
She got to know that. I know there's more, but those were the big. Water softener salt. She ate a bag of water softener salt.
Well, who can resist, right? I mean.
She chewed the door handle off the door, got into the utility room, and ate water softener salt.
Anybody?
You're making me feel so much better.
Yeah, she was insane.
I mean, I don't know. Like maybe you had a bag of Cheetos and you turned that doorknob. Is that what happened?
She starts eating the Cheeto dust?
You had your hand in a bag of Cheetos and then you turned the doorknob. I'm just taking a guess that maybe that's what inspired her to do such a thing. Anyone else have a real terrific tale of house pet destruction? By the way, the Brotherhood, 68683. Start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana if you've got a great... don't make it too long of a story because the text machine only allows a certain amount of, how that game goes. 68683, start your message with Nick, Josh, or Dana if you want to tell us a little pet destruction tale on our Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Anybody else here on the program?
I only had
My
a Cocker
dogs
Spaniel
destroy
growing up, and he would just eat his own poop. That was the only real thing that he would get into.
That drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's just weird.
I can't stand that. What were you saying, Smashley?
Normal.
No, it's not
my
normal.
dogs destroy everything.
They do?
Yeah, absolutely everything. Probably the thing that broke my heart the most was my dog got a hold of the Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, no.
And shoot those up. Yeah, that's just mean.
Those aren't cheap.
He only chewed up expensive things.
Yeah.
He chewed up like how I charge my work phone because it's like specific. Chewed that up. That was like $50, and those Joy-Cons are like $80 a piece.
Again, I'm just guessing here, but I think he probably smelled food on both. You have a pizza and then you finger bang the what do you call it, a Switch remote controller, right? Or you eat some brats and then you're playing with your phone.
Oh, brats.
That's true.
That's an excellent idea.
What happened?
I'm going to brat myself tonight.
Oh, attaboy.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to tell the story of a dog eating, a truck full of brats.
No, this dog's going to have some brats. This dog right here.
DAWG.
Craig Rosen's beard says our lab crapped out a condom in the flower garden by the front door.
Lovely.
I had a lab that would eat bras.
Yeah.
A lot of people are telling me I'm dumb. Of course, a Great Dane puppy eats all that stuff. I didn't know that. I found that out. It's a lesson I learned.
Yeah, my dog ate panties.
I
ate them
never
up.
had a dog that's done that until I've got the youngest one I have now, Widow. She eats my underwear, and it's the most frustrating thing ever. And I now understand why it makes people so angry. She's killed at least 15 pairs.
This person says a coworker's dog ate a light bulb after eating his wife's underwear.
God damn.
My dog ate my wife's tip money, $200.
Oh no.
$200 right in the old gullet. Yeah, I've been lucky for the most part. Your typical destruction. The one that the story that I like to tell is when he ate 2 tickets to a WWE show. I had 6 tickets to go see a WWE house show, and I took a nap. I woke up, I only had 4 tickets.
Oh, no.
He just ate 2. I don't know what his problem was. He was jealous that I didn't ask him. I don't know. A woman had a hell of a situation the other day. Returned home to find her couch ripped to pieces. Her name is Vicky. She's 51. She thought she'd been robbed, but discovered that the culprit was her 2-year-old dog, Bo, which I think is short for boner.
No.
I've got a short boner
We have a dog
for you.
named Bo.
Is it short for boner?
No, Bocephus.
Bocephus.
Cute.
The damn dog had destroyed her sofa while Vicky was at work, leaving stuffing and such, all over the roomski. She says, I was at work. I was getting alerts from my pet camera that something was happening. Maybe I ought to get one of these. But I thought it was just Bo being Bo. Never in a million years did I think he was destroying my couch. She first thought, as I said, she had been robbed, but noticed the TV was still on the wall. Once she saw Bo happily sitting in the middle of the destroyed couch while wagging his tail, she put it all together. One of my favorite things you can find on the internet is the pet shaming.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. If you don't know what that is, I usually find it on the Chive, where I spend a lot of my time when I'm here at the radio station. I spend a lot of my time on the Chive. It's fun. Pet owners will come home and find something destroyed and then take a picture of their pet sitting in front of the destruction and a sign around their neck explaining, I ate all of the cat's poop and then ate the dishwasher and then tore a hole in the wall, and the dog sitting there going, I love that bit. So this dog is buck wild. The next morning, Vicky puts Bo, short for boner, in her son's room in a crate while she's at work to keep him out of trouble. Gave him some toys, put on calming sounds on television. Okay. But there was no stopping the little sumbitch. When she got home from work that day, he had chewed through the crate and broken down the door.
Dang.
And some of you can probably relate to this. The dog was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder, separation disorder, something along those lines. They're now giving him a a low dose of puppy Xanax. I don't know if puppy Xanax is anything like human Xanax. Let me just give Bo and its owner a little advice. Don't let Bo take that. This is straight from personal experience. Don't let Bo take that puppy Xanax after he's consumed 2 bottles of vodka. His behavior might be a little squirrely.
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, yeah, he might end up in a Jamaican jail.
I never should have had those 2 bottles of vodka, Josh, before I started taking fistfuls of Xanax. I know that now.
They should talk to people about this.
Yeah, it was like you didn't know what you were getting into with the Great Dane. I didn't know what I was getting into. Bo, he's cute. He's doing better now, they say in this story. One of the best house pet destruction stories I ever heard. This was a friend of my dad's, had a little puffball dog, one of these little puffy sumbitches, short little legged guy, I don't know what it was. Feisty little prick. And he had a little, what was nice for this friend of my dad's is he built a little doggy door for, I'm gonna call him Puffy. Puff Daddy, I'll call this little dog Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy could come in and out of the house freely because of his little doggy door. So my dad's buddy never had to, get off the easy chair and, all right, you little son of a bitch, let's take you outside. The dog just came and went free. So my dad's friend left for a day or two, comes home, and when he opens the door, he thought, my God, what the hell? Who broke into my home? The house was destroyed. There was blood on the walls.
Jeez.
The kitchen faucet is on full blast. And he thought, okay, there's a killer in the house. What the hell's going on? I mean, the house was shredded. He's walking around the house and what the hell? Oh, God, Puff Daddy's nowhere to be seen. Whoever broke into the house must have killed Puff Daddy. And he walks into the bedroom. On the bed is Puff Daddy, covered in blood and completely exhausted. He can barely even open his eyes to acknowledge that his owner is home. And on the floor of the bedroom is a raccoon.
Oh.
Also covered in blood and huffing and puffing and just completely. This raccoon was so exhausted that this friend of my dad's picked him up with his hands and threw it out the house.
Reminds me of the end of the movie The Gray.
Yeah, just that showdown.
You were Liam Neeson's just sitting there with that giant wolf at the very end.
Right. And what the old geezer quickly realized was that a raccoon walked into the house, and these two had been fighting for 2 days.
That's insane.
Or Peter and the chicken.
Yes.
There's some respect there.
That's a great example.
But they hate each other.
And they tear each other just limb from limb.
Yes.
The ass always blows out of Peter Griffin's pants when he's fighting. You notice that?
Yes.
So, yeah. And I'll tell you what, this guy never really had a hell of a lot of respect for Puff Daddy because he's just this little puffy little dog. He doesn't hunt. He doesn't do nothing. After that, he thought, I got to start showing you some respect, son.
48-hour death match with a raccoon.
Yeah, 48-hour death match. Puffy made it. He was all right. I mean, he was cut up pretty good. And I don't know, he probably had to have a series of shots to keep him from dying, I would imagine, after scrapping with a trash panda. But that's the best I've ever heard. Talking earlier about house pet destruction. So then you don't have any stories of house pet destruction, do you?
I don't really. I mean, I've seen it in friends and relatives' homes, but never firsthand, no.
I've been sitting over here reading these text messages we got from the brother and sisterhood, just laughing my ass off. This is such good stuff. We started talking about what kind of damage our pets have done when our backs were turned. Josh has got just a never-ending list of items that a Great Dane devoured in his house.
Yeah, this was just one dog, and she went for it.
So we put it out to the brotherhood and the sisterhood if you have any good stories of house pet destruction. Cat, dog, rabbit, whatever the hell. And they just, like I said, I'm sitting over here just laughing my nuts off. Before Cubby, I want you to get us fired up on the topic, start getting after the text that you receive. But before we get there, if you were to get a pet, you said you want a dog. What kind of dog are you interested in, Dana? Or pardon me, Janelle.
I don't know. Probably something smaller because I think I don't know. I don't know that I'd want a really big dog, but maybe a beagle. I really like beagles.
Oh, no.
They're the best. I love beagles.
Okay. No, wait. Just wait. Because you don't know. Do you like a lot of noise?
No. Are they noisy?
Well, then don't get a beagle. I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say beagles are bad dogs. I don't want anyone coming after me. But I think even the most stubborn beagle lover will admit, beagle lover, I don't mean to make it sound like that. Even someone who loves beagles will admit that they make an effing racket.
Like barking at squirrels and things like that?
It's not even barking. They have that, they bay. Is that the word?
Oh.
Just that, it's hard to even describe. Anyone else have any dogs that they wouldn't recommend to Janelle?
Chihuahua.
Well, see, I like those little guys.
Yeah. I don't like any type of little purse dogs or yippy dogs.
You don't like those?
I'm not a fan of those kind of dogs.
The Chihuahuas are very yippy.
Aren't border collies kind of hard to take care of if you don't have a yard? 'Cause
Dude.
they need to run around so much.
Dude, a buddy of mine not only was goofy enough to get one, he got two at the same time.
Oh, God.
They wore a track out in his lawn. It was like an aerial view of Talladega, his lawn. Because they just ran in a circle the entire. At any rate, let's get into some of these stories of house pet destruction, because these are a lot of fun. Cubby?
This person said, just last night, my dog ate my daughter's Mother's Day card she made in school. That's heartbreaking.
That's tough.
Puppy, when I was a kid, ate $200 my dad left on the counter for groceries. Parents got in a huge fight. Divorced 4 months later.
Whoa.
Dad loved the dog. That's from Only with the Lights on, Jesus.
So it was like a get rid of this dog or get rid of me type of a situation?
That's what I'm guessing. He doesn't quite say that, but it sounds that way. Our lab just ate silly putty and a soccer shin guard. My dog ate the remote to his own shock collar, shocking himself in the process. Geeky singer Sheezus said, my rat terrier mix ate 2 pounds of meatloaf.
Whoa, that's going to be a messy evening.
J.D. Popper, Jesus said, took the toilet off to replace the wax ring, left to go get the new wax ring quick, came back, old wax ring gone. Oh, nasty. Had a black lab, ate the following. Couch, kitchen table, 3 chairs, windowsills, baseboards, 3 kennels, and a treadmill. No particular order. Also, spiders.
Wow.
That's from Up Too Early Jesus.
This is so much fun because I can picture these dopey dogs just happily devouring everything in sight.
And some of us have had similar experiences, so we feel your pain. Our lab ate an old mattress in the basement when I was a kid, says Scrapwood Jesus. My dog once chewed my Ethernet cord when I was a kid and addicted to video games. I learned how to splice wire that day.
Is that right?
I had a coonhound that chewed on an extension cord and died, but we brought him back to life with chest compressions.
Oh, my God.
No kidding.
My cat ate a sewing needle with string attached.
Ow!
Our dog ate the key fob to my car. I had a Cocker Spaniel when I was a kid. He ate through the laundry room door. He ate a container of rat poison and a box of Valentine's chocolates. Lived for 10 more years. Panel bitch, Jesus. When I moved in with my now hubby, his lab loved me so much that she ate a huge hole in 2 pairs of shorts. Pooped it all out, says Chick Jesus. From even smaller than a gummy worm, Jesus, my dog ate 6 raw chicken breasts off the stove which we're making for dinner.
Oh, I'd throw up.
Country Jesus said, that's gross. Said my dog peed on my Hall of Fame signed Dino Ciccarelli jersey.
Oh, that sucks.
Dude, you lost a Dino Ciccarelli jersey?
My German short hair ate a 12-inch hole in my snowmobile seat the day I brought it home.
Oh, no.
My insane cross-eyed Siamese cat got into the terrarium and killed my caiman.
What's that?
A little alligator, they say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cat killed an alligator?
Okay.
That's front page news in the cat community, I bet.
I noticed my dog coming out of my daughter's bedroom with something in her mouth. Went over to investigate and discovered a used condom.
Oh, son of a bee.
Oh, that ain't good.
Why didn't I just watch her read it and not go and investigate? I'd be none the wiser. I spent hours playing playing PlayStation, playing every character to unlock the bonus content. Then my cousin's Dalmatian, that was named Elvis, ate the memory card.
Oh, that
After
hurts.
all those hours, says Finn the Human Jesus.
I love that stuff.
Just had my 2 puppies pull the carpet halfway off the stairs.
Yeah.
Concrete Restoration Jesus had a coat rack next to the dog kennel, went to put his hoodie on, and the left arm completely gone past the elbow. He was a boxer. 3M Machinist Jesus said, my wife once thought a rubber band were intestines hanging out of our 3-pound Chihuahua's butt. Just a rubber band, luckily.
Tough to pass.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
My lady dog ate a bullet.
Damn.
Imagine if it passed gas and shot and killed someone.
Shots fired. Did you ever get that bullet back?
Good question. My lab ripped the carpet completely out of a room, ate part of our memory foam mattress, chewed the door handle off the door, chewed up my $500 snowmobile helmet and a fishing rod. And when I say fishing rod, I mean ate it hook, rod, and reel.
Holy cow.
I can't wait till he's gone.
How do they get away with that without
I don't
dying?
know. It is nuts, isn't it? Pipeline Inspector Jesus lived with my friend for a while. His dog ate 3 boxes of my Captain Crunch. Never even got a bite myself. Also, he had an entire pot roast out of the crock pot and ate all his dad's veggies from the garden.
What a life. Being a dog, what a
Good
life.
to be a dog.
Good to be a dog.
Because, like 99% of these dogs, they did it, and then the owner's mad, and then the dog, looks at him with those cute eyes, and they're just like, oh, you
And at that point, they don't remember what they did.
Yeah,
exactly.
This one is evil. Lightning Fingers Jesus checking in. Our demon dog just ate the back of the Bible we got as a wedding gift.
Oh, that's a message. Is that not a message being sent?
Yes, that is a message.
Look, we got to take a break. Doesn't this all sound fun, Janelle? Don't you want a dog now?
I can't wait.
And this is nothing. We've barely scratched the surface. There's so many texts.
I'm hearing these stories and I'm second guessing whether I want one.
Well, you take the good with the bad.
I suppose.
Yeah,
I will
think
say
it's
when
worth
you
it.
brought in that little dog you had, Nick, I fell in love.
No.
In the wagon. Remember?
Oh, the wagon. That was Cooks McGooks. She was a how should I say a handicapped,
disabled
corgi. What I was trying to come up with was her back legs didn't work, like Herbert the Pervert's dog on Family Guy. She was a sweet girl, and then she passed away a couple years ago. Cooks McGooks was where it's at. Yeah, we pulled her out of a what's the term? I'm not familiar with these. Where someone who
like
just
a rescue or whatever they call it, or a foster home.
Foster home. There you go. Thank you. You liked Cooks McGooks?
I did. Oh, so sweet.
She liked you
so
too.
Sweet.
She did. So anyway, you take the good with the bad. Odds are you're not going to get one of these outrageous situations. Your pet might tear up a little bit of this and that, but odds are it's not going to be as extreme as some of the messages we've received this morning that are just killing me. I'll continue on here with some messages from the Brotherhood that came in on our Luther Bloomington Kia text line. And like when, Josh, you were reading off some of these items that dogs consume, how do they live through it?
I don't know.
Here's a listener who says, my dog ate a razor blade.
Jesus.
If I ate a razor blade, wouldn't I be dead within hours?
Probably.
Some of these are a little longer, so bear with me, but they're great stories. I guess I have just one here that's kind of long, about a Great Dane. Now, that was the style of dog that ruined your house on multiple times, right, Josh?
Yeah, so we've had 2 now. The second one we got from being a foster home, and he was maybe 2.5 or 3. He's never given us any problems, but the first one we got was pretty much a puppy, also from a foster home, but she ate everything. Everything. It was crazy.
This listener says, my Great Dane chews, this is funny, my Great Dane chews things up all the time, but never anything that matters. For example, he pulled the lid off a tray of cookies and ate the lid, but didn't touch the cookies.
What a missed opportunity.
Right?
So he's either really smart and knows that he can eat a lid without getting in trouble, or he's just too dumb to realize he's missing the good stuff. From Truck Builder Jesus. Here's a cat who likes to eat tampon wrappers and toilet paper tubes out of the garage. Not of the garage, a garbage can. That's Tow Truck Jesus. Listener says, my dog ruined my 5th birthday party, ate the whole cake.
Oh.
He ate though. It's my birthday, and he ate the whole.
I bet that's tough on a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
My dad's dog ate a bright red bingo dauber and pooped red for the next month.
Oh, I've seen that happen with crayons before, too. Oh, found the missing crayons. They're in the backyard if you need them.
My wife and I ended up watching 3 cats for her coworker. They shredded a $3,000 couch that wasn't paid for yet.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Oh.
And he says,
Boy, if I bought a $3,000 couch, I don't think it would ever be paid for.
yeah,
That'd be years and years and years.
that would
I'd have to be
take.
like that bank robber guy.
Right.
I'd be signing the last payment on my damn deathbed. He or she says the cat's owner never paid him for the couch. Puppy found a bottle of Whiteout and he enjoyed it on our black couch.
Oh, no.
Wow. No.
Listener says, turns out when my dog eats cat turds, it turns into explosive diarrhea around the house.
Yucky.
It's the worst kind is explosive.
I'll tell you a story about my old dog who lived to be 19 years old before he finally checked out. The Ozman. A dachshund, Janelle. Some listeners...
Sort of what I want.
Yeah, some listeners are recommending, because you said you might want to get a small dog. Some listeners are recommending maybe you get a dachshund. Now, they also can be loud. They also can be loud.
Okay.
The Ozman did a fair amount of talking in his 19 years. The last 2 or 3, he didn't say much because he couldn't hear himself. He was deaf. He was blind. But anyway, one of the best stories about pet destruction. I was seeing a girl at the time. I went through about a dozen girlfriends during Ozzy's, the Ozman's lifespan. Christ, he lived 19 years. I mean, so a lot of girls got to know Oz. I broke up with this girl, but she still really liked Oz and wanted to dog sit him when I needed that assistance, and that was a wonderful setup. The dog liked her a lot, and she calls me when she's dog sitting him and says, "My God, I think he's dying." And I said, "What's the problem?" He's just, and she tells me he's just spraying diarrhea all over the house like a super soaker. Just every. She sent me pictures. It was like a horror movie. I could not believe what I would, and I got concerned. Well, why is he so sick? I don't know. And I said, "Well, did you feed him some?" "Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You know, his regular dog food just seemed kind of boring. So I went out and I got him some. It was like this organic, wet dog food made out of salmon and shrimp." And I said, "Are you out of your effing mind? You can't just up and change a dog's diet suddenly like that, especially so extreme." He went from the cheapest dry dog food to this wet seafood dog food. So, of course, he got violently sick. What the hell's the matter with you? But we had a good laugh about it. Just she was cleaning that apartment for months. What a... Excuse you.
Well, pardon someone.
Couple more here before we go, because we gotta go. Here's a listener who says, "I'm not sure if this is okay to say on the air, but my dog ate over an ounce of cocaine and lived."
Wow. Jeez Louise.
Badass.
Tony
Poor
Montana
dog,
dog. My God.
Another listener says, "My current dog ate a few sex toys."
Yeah, a few people have checked in on sex toys. Dogs like that.
I bet that probably just looks like one of those like rubber toys that they play with, you know?
Yeah.
Depending on what it is.
Got some funk on it.
Wouldn't this be a cute scene? Your dog loves to go run around with the horses. Oh, you probably get out your cell phone, take some pictures. Isn't that cute? The
Heck
dog
yeah.
likes to...
That's like a Christmas card right there.
Right, but the listener found out the reason he was following around the horses all day long is that he loved to eat, as the listener puts it, the pasture pies.
Oh.
Says he ate them like candy.
Oh, man. That's
not right before dinner.
Yeah, our last dog who recently passed away, she was a poop eater, and so she'd wait for the Great Dane and then go for it.
Just go to town.
Yeah.
Listener says, I've heard this many times. I would not want to be part of this. Listener says, my dog got a hold of the baby diapers, ripped it open, and ate everything that was inside. And finally, a listener says, when I was younger, I had a pet rabbit who died doing what she loved to do, chewing the hell out of electrical cords.
That's too bad.
Maybe you need to get a kitty, Janelle.
Oh, God. I am not a cat person.
You need to meet my guy, Big Lou.
Well, I did fall in love with your dog, so maybe. You think I would change my mind?
Yeah, Big Lou's. He's pretty cool.
I received a text saying any dog under 30 pounds is a cat. So I don't know. Maybe you could get a.
Oh, I love that bit.
Under 30-pound cat dog.
I got a couple buddies who talk like that. Yeah, they got that whole approach.
I wouldn't mind a like a min pin or something. If anybody has one or has experience, let me know. Is that a bad dog to get?
Dude.
I think they're cute.
I knew a miniature pinscher once. Was the best athlete I'd ever seen in my life.
Really?
It could run. They were so fast. Not they. This particular one was so effing fast. It could get going so fast, Josh. It could run along the walls like you were watching a Spider-Man movie.
Wow, that's awesome.
So cool.
The owners loved it, but I was just a visitor. I'd crack open a beer and wait for this thing to get buck wild. It'd be running on the walls.
I mean, I've loved our Danes, but, it'd be nice to have a dog that doesn't weigh more than I do, which our current one does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind just a super tiny.
And you mentioned the hung thing now and again.
Yeah, I don't like that either. That's terrible.
Janelle, with that crass comment, we wish you a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, you guys. Great to talk with you as always.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
We've probably all been woken up or bothered a little bit by a neighbor with a loud exhaust at some point in our lives. You had that problem, anybody?
Never been woken up, but I've certainly lived by somebody who had loud pipes on his hog.
On his hog.
By that I mean chopper.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of too many issues with the exception of, for a couple years of my life, I lived right down the road, about 2 or 3 blocks down the road from a bar in Hamel, Minnesota called In Cahoots. Terrific joint. Still pop in there from time to time, obviously before this nightmare hit town. But when I lived down the road from In Cahoots, they had a lot of biker parties up there. Hey, 600 of us are going to meet at In Cahoots Saturday morning. We're all going to go to Red Wing or something like that. So I was a pretty heavy drinker back in those days. I didn't get out of bed on a Saturday morning until about 11:30 or noon. I'd stay up all night. And these yahoos on their Harley Davidson would roll, just about 6 feet from my front door every Saturday morning around 8 a.m. Just just the unbelievable biker gang noise you've ever heard in your life. That was the only time where I thought, I gotta move.
Most of the places I've lived have been real close to very busy streets, or I also lived basically on a highway for a few years, and so you'd hear a lot of loud vehicles there too.
Spent almost my whole life on a highway. Yeah, so I got used to it. But when 600 Harleys go by at once, that'll rattle you out of bed. I never acted on it. What am I going to do? What am I going to do about it? But I'm just saying it.
It never irked me. It's just, you live next to a busy road, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it effed with my overhang here and again. But here's a story of somebody who acted on his neighbor with a loud-ass vehicle, according to a Facebook story. Aaron Robinson, he says, here's what he did. He uploaded a picture of his car's exhaust system, apparently filled with Great Stuff foam. You ever use that on anything around the house, Josh?
Yesterday.
Ah?
Yep. I'm very familiar. It's an art to use that stuff.
I bet you I'd be pretty bad at it. If you don't know, it's like a sealant. It's kind of like a seal-all. It'll fix a crack in your this. It'll seal up a this and that. You know what I'm talking about? Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right?
The artistry comes in like filling up an icy. Have you ever had this experience where you fill up an icy and you think, I got it the perfect level, and then it just keeps expanding?
Oh.
Yes.
And you got a big blue mess everywhere. I like the blue ones. Big blue mess everywhere.
What'd you use it on yesterday? Did you mention it already?
Installing an outlet outdoors.
That's great. So this guy uploads, again, a picture of his car. He's got a sweet Mustang. The exhaust system filled with that great stuff. And that'll stay for a stretch of time, I would imagine.
You can ship it out.
You can. And the Facebook post was accompanied by a letter allegedly written to him by an angry neighbor. Now, it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense at times, but I'm going to read it as is. Here's the letter the guy received. It reads, I finally found you. You want our attention? You don't want our attention. You have 14 days to fix the muffler or put the stock exhaust back on. It then threatened, "Don't egg us on. You will only regret it. We encourage you to call the police or install a video camera. Nothing will work." It then finished by saying, "Fix your muffler." Now, this Robinson guy insists this really happened and replied to a comment suggesting he file a police report. Someone sent, you should call the cops on this. And he also added in, he goes a little far with this maybe, he also said, "I hope someone gets COVID and dies a slow, painful death over this." He's mad.
That's a reasonable response.
He's mad. Someone filled his exhaust system with great stuff foam. Now, it appears in the post that he owns a newer Ford Mustang, but the car is apparently equipped with an aftermarket exhaust. So he wanted it to have a little grit. Is that what I would take from that, Josh?
Yeah, when we were just talking about this, I was thinking, I had mentioned, this stuff never irked me. And I like the sound. I like that sound. I think it sounds cool.
Me too.
Whether it's on a car, motorcycle, whatever it is. And I do remember something that did irk me living by busy roads.
Mm-hmm.
The loud bass. And I get it. I get it. I'm too old. But even as a kid growing up in Minneapolis, sometimes that bass was just ridiculous. We want to say, okay, that's just too much.
Right.
Go ahead, listen to your music loud. I like loud music, but that's just ridiculous. That has to be more pain. It's like when things are too hot when you eat it, too spicy hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's not really flavor anymore. All you're doing is inflicting harm.
It's a perfect way to put it.
You don't really hear the music. You just hear bolts rattling off the back of the Honda Civic.
Unnecessary, totally ridiculous. But of course, those people are trying to make some kind of a statement. I would go along with that. Not a lot of loud vehicles really got on my nerves when I spent the majority of my life living on a major highway.
Yeah, I don't mind vehicle noise. It was just the bass. And my wife is an offender. We don't have an aftermarket crazy system in her vehicle, but I don't think she realizes that the treble knob can be turned up.
She likes a lot of bass.
She wants it all bass.
I was bothered by that as well, especially when the dinkus with the bass party going on in his good call Honda Civic, especially when you could tell from about 6 miles away that one of those speakers wasn't quite screwed in properly.
Right.
It had that rattle
you just
to
hear
it.
the rattling.
Do you have a screwdriver, for Christ's sake?
But I think some of those guys use foam to insulate the inside of the car.
Yeah, you would know something about that, wouldn't you? Didn't you do that for a living for a brief period?
Well, not for a living. I did that, just wasn't paid for it. I was a nerd and I hung out at Audio King.
Yeah.
I would hang out and just help those guys.
He hung out at Audio King, you guys.
And then I went and took an automotive electronic class so I could install car stereos, learn how to build a carburetor.
That's awesome, dude.
Or not a carburetor, now I can't even think of the... Car guys, help me out. Why can't I think of the thing that makes electricity in a car?
Alternator. Carburetor.
Alternator.
Do you think... After a while, when you walked into Audio King, did the guys who work there, did they go, Jesus Christ, here he comes again?
I kind of think so.
Oh, no.
I've had that moment over the years for places I would go to too often. And I'm not besmirching these businesses at all, I understand. But sometimes the employees, I felt at a particular Chipotle and at this Best Buy, like, do you have anything else to do? I felt that was the look they're giving me.
That's not nice.
Now, that could all be in my head.
No, here's the thing, is I know you very well. You were not burdening these people. There are certain types who it would make perfect sense for them to say, for God's sake, here he comes again. I doubt you burdened them in that way, whether it be awesome Audio King or Chipotle. What's your record again for consecutive days going to the same Chipotle?
Oh, it's got to be hundreds and oftentimes 2 a day. When I was single, that's all I did. And this is a true story, so I've moved a lot. Pretty much when my place would get dirty, I'd want to move. And so I had to be within 5 minutes of a Chipotle. They say location, location, location. For me, it was burrito, burrito, burrito. I had to be within 5 minutes. It's no lie.
See, yeah, you're way more interesting than you lead people to believe.
Well, I don't know if interesting's the right word.
Dude, you went to
Bizarre.
You went to the same Chipotle for 200 days in a row?
Well, at least no, it was over that because it was certainly I never missed. Well, okay, throw out holidays where they're closed. Days they were open, I went every day, sometimes twice a day, to the point where there was one I lived. It was in the parking lot when I lived in Eden Prairie. That's where I lived, right on the freeway at these condos there, and I'd walk in, it would be ready for him.
That's awesome.
They just knew, well, here it is, 12:30. He'll be here any second.
And you know my story about I went to the same sandwich shop once a week, maybe twice a week when I was a young guy. I didn't have any money. They sold cheap sandwiches. It was a block from my house. Why wouldn't I go there? Oh, God.
He's choking on something.
I got him.
Waffle, give him the hind lick maneuver.
I'm doing it.
I can't see him. Is he passed out?
He's good.
All right. You back?
Tobacco chewers know what I go through.
What happened? You swallowed some by accident?
No, they didn't. Swallowing, that's old. That's kid stuff. I've been doing that since I was 2.
No, I mean, did you swallow like a chunk of it?
Once in a while, it just dry up.
Oh.
But you know my sandwich shop story.
Yeah, where the guy, he was unnecessarily hostile to you for some reason?
Yeah, he went after me. We almost scrapped. It was just me and him in the sandwich shop. And I walked in and I said, yeah, I'll take the steak sandwich with the... And he goes, hey, why don't you just come back here and make it yourself? You're here every damn day.
Jeez.
And I said, what got up your ass, bruh? By the way, sir, there are some listeners texting who have had many problems with loud vehicles in their neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
The racing sometimes can be a little annoying. There's like, I'm going to guess it's County Road 3. I'm not 100% sure where it's coming from, but... By us, you hear just crotch rockets racing. You hear that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Probably, by every once in a while, maybe like once a week when it's riding weather.
But like you said, we both grew up on major highways. Very little bothered us. You get used to it. You really do.
Same with airplane noise. Some people will freak out over airplane noise. For me, I always...
You got used to it?
It seems like my parents wanted to live under a flight path. We moved once, both directly. It's like the planes would just wave as they went over our house.
Maybe you learned to project yourself better as a young person by always having to shout over airplane traffic.
You might be right. I mean, I remember after September 11th, one of the many things, that stood out to me was just how silent the skies were because I lived under a flight path.
Yeah.
It was so eerie. You'd hear the low rumble of military planes.
I never experienced a lot of that, but yeah, you were in that area, weren't you?
Yeah.
Here's a guy texted in and said, pathetic a-hole in my apartment complex would pull his Harley out every day to idle it, just so we'd know he's got a bike.
Well, I will say, I know there's plenty of real polite people that know, okay, I've got loud pipes on my bike. And, I forget his Jesus name. It's going to kill me. But he would roll his bike out of the neighborhood just to be polite because he went to work, the same time we do. He's getting out of bed and getting to work by 3:30. So he would just roll his bike out of the neighborhood.
That's so nice.
That's what Ashley might call extra.
Yeah, it is extra.
That effort he went to just to be polite to his neighbors.
I'd probably flip out, too, if somebody messed with my vehicle the way this guy's vehicle got messed with the great stuff bonding foam.
Well, it's too much, and I don't know if you have it in that story, but the guy had said, hey, if you would have just asked me or let me know, I would have adjusted my schedule or I would have done something differently.
I've never had a vehicle with a really sweet sound to it. Never have.
Well, mine was like the, what would you call it? Like, cheap suite, I don't know, for lack of a better term, where my muffler had fallen off and it sounded kind of cool for a little bit. Had nothing to do with the actual power of the engine. It just was like, hey, it kind of sounds like it's got some balls to it.
Dude, same thing. Same effing thing. And I know I just got done talking about Hamel. When I lived in Hamel, lived down the road from In Cahoots, the bikers would go by on Saturday mornings and it would rattle me out of bed. Before I lived in Hamel, I worked in Hamel. And if anyone knows Hamel Road, where In Cahoots is, that is one quiet street most nights. Nice houses, just quiet. It's getting busier by the day, but I worked there in the early 90s at a warehouse, and I had this old Ford van with a bed in the back.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was wonderful.
Was it... It's funny. You see movies where they have that. Is that a feature you could have as part of the vehicle, or do you just toss one in?
It was a feature.
It really was.
Yeah. That model came with a bed.
I always wondered that.
You could flatten it out into a bed. Other than that, it looked like a little couch in the back. Anyway, so I'm driving down Hamill Road. I used to work nights at this warehouse. We got done at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm putting down Hamill Road, quiet as a church on that street most nights. It's a Tuesday night, something like that, or Tuesday morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And the muffler just falls right off. I mean, it was so bad. It was so loud. And I get out and I try to, wrangle it back into place. I've got some wire and whatnot. No chance. It's come completely off. And I felt like such an ass rolling through town with that extremely loud vehicle. But I got to say, at the same time, I felt really cool. I did.
I felt cool for a second, too.
I finally sounded cool. I mean, it was just but-up. You couldn't even believe how loud it was without that effing muffler.
No Dog Jesus has some retirees in her neighborhood, and in the morning, she also rolls her bike down the block before she fires it up.
Yeah, aren't very nice.
There's some polite folks out there.
Richard Beating Jesus says he lives by the saying, if it's too loud, you're too old. Well, in a lot of cases, then I'm too old.
I think I did admit, yes, I'm too old. I get it.
We've admitted that. Yeah. Usually at concerts, I will raise my hand and say, can we turn it down a little bit? And no one will listen to me.
No, I'm with you on that. I went as far as I went up on stage and I turned down the Marshall amplifier that Dave Mustaine was playing once with Megadeth. It's too loud, Dave.
Yeah, I think I'm more adept to dealing with loud traffic noises at my age now than I am with loud concerts. If I would have said this into the microphone 15 years ago, I'd probably be fired. Because we're all supposed to portray ourselves as these wild, out of control rockers. That was the thing 15 years ago on this program.
That's true. You go to every concert, and the way you get there is on your not your Harley, but your chopper with loud pipes.
But I'm completely content now, and it's nothing new. We've said it before. Most concerts I go to, I'd like them to turn it down a little bit.
I'd also like there to be less people, more elbow room.
Yes.
Can we get a few less people? Would work for me too.
Some chairs, maybe.
How about a chair for a player?
And can we also maybe just have a sign-up sheet for when we can use the bathroom, so we don't have to wait in long lines to use the bathroom?
Yes, that'd be so great.
Maybe a bathroom for number ones and a bathroom for number twos. Savage Jesus. Can we also get a 5 p.m. start time for these concerts? I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree. The last band should go on at 5 p.m.
That would maybe be my number one. Wonderful point, Savage Jesus. Yes, it's too loud for me. Yes, it's too crowded. And yes, most of the time, no one's polite enough to hand me a chair. But above all, if we could get the main act on around 5:30 p.m., that would be incredible.
You can stop at Perkins on the way home, maybe get a Perk-a-Bear, bring home a nice big muffin. You're in bed by 9.
Yeah, do we still need to do the opening band? Do we still need to do the main act goes on at 9:45, 10 o'clock?
No, let's make some changes. The world is reset. Let's come back better.
I mean, I was effing furious when I went to go see those Foo Fighters. They had us out until after midnight.
That's the next day. The concert doesn't say till tomorrow. The date on it should end on the date on the ticket stub. It should not go into the next day.
The last time the Foo Fighters came to town, I went to the show with my roommate. She loves them. I'm not much of a Foo Fighters fan, but I went anyway. And I couldn't tell you one song they did or did not do. All I know is they kept me there way too effing late, and I'm not going to see them again.
Now, I do like the Foo Fighters, very much so, but that would bother me too, I think.
Guns N' Roses did the same thing. Everybody was so excited for Guns N' Roses to come back. So was I until they played Knocking on Heaven's Door for a half hour, and I didn't get out of there until 12:45.
And I think it's kind of like the old, if the teacher doesn't show up after 15 minutes, everyone gets to leave. It should be the same with concerts, and I want my money back. And this hat. I will take this hat as well. And bandana.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The 93X Half-assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
Stupid news on the Half-assed Morning Show.
All right, wonderful. Looking forward to it, the stupid news. Any of yous ever have any dramatic moments when you're trying to park at the grocery store or the ball game and you end up getting yelled at by some fully grown dickhead who can't help but be an angry little child?
No, I've been snaked afore, but I've never been yelled at for any snaking myself.
Yeah, thankfully I've never been yelled at, no.
Been snaked. So you were just about ready to pull into that parking spot, and here comes Dinkus.
Yeah, had my signal on. Somebody wrapped around the corner super fast and decided to take it. I figured, well, they must need it more than I do.
Ah, yeah, the signal on and everything, though.
Yeah, when that happens to me, I kind of just sit in my car for a little bit, and I'm like, don't freak out. Don't kill them.
Yeah.
Okay, next parking spot now.
Well, because if you say something these days, you're likely to find yourself in some trouble.
Exactly.
Boy, did I have a guy just come unglued a few years ago at the liquor store. I just pulled into the lot. I never saw the guy, but apparently he must have been waiting for this spot, and I just zipped right on in and backed in, and he was screaming at me from his vehicle. And originally, I thought, when I first laid eyes on the guy, I thought it was one of my old high school buddies messing around.
Oh, gosh.
So he's like, "You mother effer, son of a bitch." And I said, "Yeah, eat me or something." You know what I'm talking about? I just kind of, because I thought it was a friend of mine. And then I realized, oh, this isn't my high school buddy. This guy's seriously pissed. He just would not let it go. I said, "What do you want? I didn't see you. What do you want me to do? Yeah, I'm going to the liquor store. You want a 12-pack? You know what?"
You could be parked by now, but instead you're yelling at me.
My uncle, he's a quadriplegic, and he gets fed up with people parking in handicap spots.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that.
That's
yeah.
not the move.
He's an even keel guy for the most part, but a few years ago, he gets out of his van and somebody parks in there, and he just had enough. He started yelling at this guy, and the guy sat there and took it, but the guy wouldn't move. Eventually, he gets out of his car, and he had prosthetic legs.
Oh.
The one time my uncle decides to go off on somebody, the person, and then you see him, he waited. It was almost like a bit. He waited till my uncle was done yelling, puts up the little placard on the rear view mirror, gets out, and he's got prosthetic legs.
Oh, that's tough.
That is a tough one.
The dude that was getting yelled at by your uncle, boy, did he play that well.
Yeah. He did. It was perfect. My uncle, he's got a great sense of humor. He said that guy couldn't have played it better.
Yeah, he slow played and got it good.
Didn't get angry, didn't show any emotion, just did his thing, got out, didn't say a word.
Yeah, the parking lot can be a dramatic place, or parking on the street, same thing. A lot of people will just treat it like it's life or death. Word is over there in, how do you call it, Singapore. There was a parking space standoff that lasted 20 minutes. The damn cops had to be called because neither side wanted to back down. How pathetic.
This is a bit right out of a Seinfeld episode.
What are you doing? I think I'm parking my car. You can't do that. You can't just sneak in from the back like that. I'm not sneaking. I didn't even know you were parking. You were just sitting there 3 spaces off. What, if you didn't think I was parking, why did you put it in head first? Well, that's the way I park. But I'm backing in. You can't put it in head first. I can if I have room.
Now you got Medical Device Jesus texting and blowing up on me. I wasn't criticizing Dee Snider. I was telling a comical story about Dee Snider. But I understand if you want to defend Dee. If that's what Medical Device Jesus, the Michigan State guy. He wrote me a text that says, dude, Dee Snider cured a young man's inability to move his feet in a documentary called Cobra Kai. I'm well aware of that.
I saw that document.
I saw
That's
that.
Right.
I'm well aware of that. Last week in Singapore, 20 minutes, parking space standoff. There was a witness to this nonsense. Dude that saw the whole thing, his name is Han. Han said the driver of the Honda, you're like, what Honda? You haven't told me anything. The driver of a Honda was preparing to reverse into a parallel parking spot when a Jaguar suddenly nosed into the spot from behind skis.
For a split second, I thought you were talking about the cat.
I guess I don't know if they have cats roaming the streets of Singapore or not. Maybe.
You're right, exactly.
Ashley, just for one night, put down the hard liquor. Both drivers then got out of their cars and began arguing. Videos were posted on TikTok. The female driver of the Honda was blocking traffic on the street, too, during this 20-minute standoff. So a pile of unlucky suckers just trying to go about their business had to sit and watch these idiots and their pissing match. And you're probably wondering, what happened to Han? I've got more from Han. Han says the woman driver found the spot first. The dode is the one who was acting like a douche. Han? Whatever happened to bros before hoes? Come on, Han. Cops were called. They eventually sorted out the situation. What a nightmare. You're on the street. You got a date or whatever. You're trying to take the kid somewhere. You're blocked by this argument. Wouldn't that would make me crazy.
Yeah, obviously a dick move by this guy driving the big cat. But wouldn't you guys, how stubborn are you guys? You wouldn't want to block a lane for this argument, would you?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I think I'd just take off and
I've got better
take the
things
loss.
to do.
I would never, ever in a million years be in that situation. I would easily just say, go ahead, tough guy. It's all yours. I'll go find a different spot. I have no interest in those kinds of confrontations.
Plus, you can just come back and slash the tires.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, remember the story about a gal friend of mine, Josh? She's going to the grocery, and she has one of these pissing matches. She pulled into a spot, and a lady who was apparently trying to park in the same spot starts screaming at her like the dude treated me at the liquor store. Screaming, you bitch, you stole my effing spot. You know how people are. It's just amazing that you can get yourself that wrapped up over a parking spot. So this girlfriend of mine is being screamed at by another female, and the girlfriend of mine goes, Jenny, is that you? And the girl who was screaming at her says, oh, hey, how you doing? And they realized they knew each other from high school. So the confrontation calms down. My gal friend is like, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. And the gal who was doing the screaming is saying, I was waiting for a while, but it's not a big... So how you been? They have a conversation, a catch-up conversation. Uh-huh. My girlfriend goes into the grocery store, and after 5 minutes, someone taps her on the shoulder and says, what was going on out there in the parking lot? And my girlfriend says, well, I had an argument with a woman, but why do you ask? They just got done keying your car. So how crazy do you have to be to do something like that when you know that the person whose property you're vandalizing knows your name?
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
And it seemed as if the confrontation had calmed itself.
I've seen that before. It's like a fire, right? You think, oh, that fire's out. Oh, look, there's a little more. Yeah, I've seen that in people where they go, usually alcohol involved, where they're hot and then everything's cool, and all of a sudden they get hot again about the exact same thing that was just resolved.
It's like they just can't let it go.
Yes, I don't know what it is. Something pops in their mind and they decide, I'm going to get right back to where I was.
Scary.
I don't know how it all ended, whether or not, my girlfriend called the police and said, yeah, my car got keyed. And the cops are like, well, unless you saw the perpetrator. And my girlfriend's like, well, not only did I see her, I know her first and last name. I know where she lives. I don't know how it ended, but you got to be totally insane. She knows my name, but I'll just key the piss out of her. She'll never know.
Yeah, I don't think I'd key somebody's car.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm not going to destroy property. This person says, while picking up trash, I have to block a Starbucks drive-thru for maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes 3 times a week. I've met many of the world's most horrible people here.
I bet.
Yeah, don't mess with people and their coffee.
Don't talk to me
Lunatics.
until I've had my coffee.
I don't understand that. If somebody's doing their job, you can wait a minute or so for your coffee. Or, I don't know, leave earlier for work if you're that big of a hurry.
Or go inside.
No, Ashley, please. Let's be reasonable.
Be reasonable.
Why would I go inside?
We've lost our minds. We're so selfish now. We are so selfish. If the seas do not part for a lot of us, because we are who we are, we're special.
I stress a guy out that's just trying to get it done. I'd imagine he can go faster if people aren't being a dick to him, too.
All bets are off. We're just so in love with ourselves, we just feel like everybody should step aside.
The half-assed morning show backtracks.
All right, word is, and this has been the word for years, I think, chicks dig tall dudes. It certainly seems that way. I can't really say that my height has benefited me much over the years. I'm a tall drink of water, 5'10", 5'11", maybe.
Why, you're taller than that.
I don't think I
thought you were 6 feet.
I don't think so. Not anymore. Maybe 15 years ago, I was 6 feet tall.
Isn't that crazy? You're shrinking too. I shrank an inch. My doctor was like, I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, I've shrunk.
I'm melting. Like my face is melting.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm an inch shorter than I was about 10 years ago.
The amount of hair I can produce from my ears, I think could be on display at the state fair.
Bro, me too.
Now, wait a minute now. Do you remember the last time we had this conversation?
Yeah.
I had you beat. Do you remember how I had you beat?
I don't.
Because I don't only have it growing out of my ears, I have it growing on my ears.
Well, that's where I get it.
Oh, I thought you were just an in-the-ear hair guy, and I beat you last time by saying it's not just in there, it's on them.
Yeah, that's where I get it, like on the sides.
Yeah, on.
Yeah, and it's like, it goes from nothing to I've tapped a neighbor on the shoulder with it in one day somehow. I don't get how that happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, and then the next day it's always Gandalf white.
Oh, really?
And it's so long.
See, that's the one spot on my body where I can still grow dark hair.
Oh, can you?
And it comes pouring out of the lobes. I look like somebody sprinkled Miracle Grow or something on the...
Why is it, if there was a way we could transplant that to the top of our heads, we could be in any metal band we want.
Yeah. But just so you know, if you ever spend the night at my house and you accidentally walk into the bathroom and I'm shaving my ears, now you know why.
Well, and did yours start a while ago?
Oh, yeah.
Back when I used to go to a barber, he just kind of zipped my ears real quick. And I thought, well, what the heck are you doing? And he told me, you got some ear hair up there.
Yeah, it started quite a while ago.
I was very embarrassed. Very embarrassed.
Chicks dig tall, guys. This was a study conducted in 2000 by God Woo 6. And it's making the rounds now. Somebody posted the results on that evil social media. If a guy's shorter than average, this is what they studied. If a guy is shorter than average, how rich does he have to be to make him as attractive to women as a tall guy?
Well, how do you feel about this, Ashley? It's been a while since I've seen your fiancé. How tall is he, you think?
He likes to say he's 6'4", but he's 5'11".
5'11". And how tall are you?
5'5".
5'5", okay. Does that matter to you? Would you date somebody who was short?
Probably not shorter than me, but I don't really mind if They're like the same height.
That wouldn't bother you?
Nah.
I received a text from 512 Sheezes. And she says, 5'10" is not tall. Tall is over 6 feet. Yeah, it was a joke. Well, it was a joke. Well, now I know here's another one I'm not getting because I'm not tall enough.
And she doesn't understand your humor.
Doesn't understand my sarcasm. Researchers at the University of Chicago and MIT went through a bunch of online dating stats where the average guy was 5'11" and a half.
I thought it was shorter than that.
That's what I would say, too.
This breaks my heart.
I would say it's shorter than that. Let's just keep going and see where we end up.
All right.
They say the average guy is 5'11" and a half and makes $63,000 a year. So how much extra money would a guy shorter than that have to make for him to be equally attractive to women? See what I'm saying? It's kind of confused. If you're 5'10", you'd have to make an extra $24,000.
What?
If you're 5'8", you'd have to make an extra $138,000 a year.
Okay, this is absolutely insane.
I would just reside. I'm single. I'm just going to be single.
Right.
An extra $138,000.
This is crushing information.
No
I would
problem.
need $200,000.
How tall are you? What's your name again, Wapple?
5'9".
Yeah. So it goes all the way down to 5 feet. If you're a 5 foot tall guy and you want to be as attractive to a woman as a 6 foot guy, according to their research, you'd have to make an extra $317,000 a year.
No problem.
That's not a problem.
That's easy enough to do.
Yeah, not a problem.
That'll bring me up to $337,000 a year.
Oh. So basically, every inch you're shorter than 5'11" and a half, you'd have to make an extra $28,000. Men, if their research is accurate, and I think it's clear that it's not, really tall men can earn basically peanut piles and still be attractive to women. They say men who are 6'2" can make as little as $33,000 a year, 6'4", $12,000 a year. If you're 6'6" or above, you can potentially be unemployed and still be a catch in women's eyes. This is crazy. Everything that I've just said is absolutely crazy.
So untrue.
Can you imagine? Well, you're not as tall as I usually like. Why don't you show me your portfolio?
You know, yeah, I think I'm around 5'10", maybe 5'11". I have shrunk. But I do have a couple of funny stories regarding my height, I guess, or yeah. Many years ago, I was much more thin back then, so maybe that's what gave this, my appearance was a little different back then. I had a gal, adorable gal, once say to me, or it was a group of people having a conversation, right? And we were talking about, I guess, what we're into, appearances. I like a blonde. I like a dark-haired person, right? So this gal says, and she was looking at me, she says, I like tall, skinny guys like you. And I looked behind me. But she was talking to me. But what threw me was she used the word tall. She was not a tall lady. She was quite short. But anyway, it just threw me. You're calling me tall? I'm not tall. And I told Josh this story recently. I was at a dump, recycling dump, a handful of days ago, dumping off some trash. And I pulled in, and I have a relatively new pickup. And some old timer who was backing into the joint next to me rolls his window down, and he goes, How do you like the new pickup? And I said, I love it. And he says, I heard the cabs on them pickups aren't big enough. Is it big enough in there? I mean, even for a big guy like you? And again, I look behind. A big guy?
Someone else in here?
Yeah.
I would take offense if it was me, because I'd think they're definitely being sarcastic.
Well, he's older than the hills. You know, I think he couldn't see.
No, I'm not saying. I'm suggesting, because I do consider you tall. But yeah, I think I'd read between the lines. Oh, I get it, old timer.
Yeah. Maybe I should have started something with him. Put your mask over your mouth and nose and step out of that vehicle right now.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.